this year. We probably should have made the playoffs 4 out of the 5. The second year, it's not a year that we were pleased about. And I'm not, one thing you'll never hear, I'm not going to blame individuals because collectively I didn't like some of the things that happened the second year. Last year, and we're all at the mercy of injuries. Injuries can wreak havoc not only with our big team, but have a trickle effect down here. Having talked to Roy, I felt last year was one of the best teams we've ever had here. When we lost Stalock, who I think was one of the best goalies in the league, if not, and Jonathan Chichu, I knew that was going to be tough. We also had a player, and if I could have done it differently, I probably would have left Justin Braun down here a little bit longer because he was one of the dominant players in the league. But make no mistake about it, our job is to win a Stanley Cup. Develop players, drafting and developing is the most important thing we do, but we believe in winning. And the term, if you assume that we made 3 out of 5, we probably should have made 4 out of 5 years in the playoffs. And Berkey and Wayne can touch on this. The additions that you make to a team can either come in the form of a trade, internal growth from your players, and often the case is where you have young players coming from junior and from college at the end of their year to come and help the team, much like Philly did, I think, Berkey, when they won. It all comes down to the quality of people. So there are some people I think that really did a good job the first year. There's a couple that didn't do as good a job the second year at a crucial point in the season. And we lost that year. And I understand a lot of the fans have committed to 2 years of season ticket purchase. So I understand that. Year 3 I thought we played well. Year 4 we were pretty good. We've also prided this on making this be a place that players want to play. And you got to understand, a lot of players, their dream is still to play in the NHL. So we could have a veteran such as a Mike Moore, who ultimately might be one of the most quality character people you're ever going to find. He still has a chance, and we hope to see him playing in the NHL. So that is a leadership who is an inspired person who says, I still have a dream. Sometimes when you get a veteran guy, he could play well the first year, and the second year, it either becomes a financial thing with Europe, or I want to get a chance. Matthew Darche, for example, is in the NHL. Players like Brad Stavitz who came here, we had to evolve and change their role. So there's a lot of things that we look at to build a team. It's not always about talent, because NHL is a classic example. There's some very talented teams that are struggling. You've got to have chemistry. We want people that are committed to this team, what we're trying to accomplish, and also committed to the community. So different years, different things. Once you get in the playoffs, you got a chance of winning. And getting into playoffs is the most crucial thing. So that's where I sit on it. Berkey, why don't you touch on what we view and what we consider a veteran player?
Our pro scouts, we do an extensive search of veteran players all year long, and we're on top of it quite a bit. Some people think a veteran player is this guy or that guy, but what it ends up being is how much time would you consider a veteran? How many games would you consider a veteran player? What's a veteran player? How many games?
260?
260.
Is that right?
Yeah.
260. Now, is that veteran based on what you've heard or what you think or what the price tag is?
Doesn't have anything to do with price tag, just games.
CBA.
Yeah.
Because there are players that after a year, if you think of how short a minor league career is, that some guys would have to be considered a veteran in your team if you had, say, they had 10 rookies. You see what I'm saying? So there's a little bit of a difference. But when you're saying a pure veteran based on number of games, we have guys, we've looked at all kinds of guys. I don't know what the number is or how many you want to have, but we have been in that market every year, and we've looked at them very hard. But we feel we've got some pretty good guys here now. We don't always look at a veteran as 260. What if it was 190? Would that fit? Would you consider an American League veteran?
I think that the term of veteran, though, is more about just a veteran from experience standpoint to help the young guys, because we perennially have young guys on this team, help them along in their development, especially. I think last year we had 13 rookies on the team, or no, that was year 4. We had 13 rookies on the team. We had pretty good. We had a really good year that year, but it seemed like that really wasn't replaced as much. And this year, the same thing, where if you have those veterans, and I'm talking like a Giroux,
Rich, can you stand up?
Sure,
I can't hear
like a Giroux, a Coyne, so those type of players. that have won at this level, they won at a professional level to help those, the rookies, the young guys in their development to, learn how to win at this level, and they can bring that learning how to win at the professional level up to San Jose, because it seems like that's kind of the key to get you over the hump in San Jose. I mean, you're like that close, but having those young guys up to that know how to win at this level, it does to us, I think, or at least I'm going to speak. I'm going to say to me, it doesn't seem like winning is as much of a priority as just the development, but I think that's part of the development, and I think just having those leaders there. I don't know if veterans a good term, but usually they are. The leaders of the veterans have been around.
Well, there's numbers leaders, guys that get points. Tommy Wingles, you wouldn't consider a leader by your standards, but he has helped a lot of guys here. There's a lot of guys that we have in their second and third years that are helping guys a lot. Like Mike Brewer, is he a veteran? We think he is, and he does a lot for a lot of these guys. So there's a numbers thing of guys that put up these numbers for a long time. There's part of that. Yeah, we were in that market, we're trying. Then there's other guys that are leaders that you probably wouldn't consider great leaders based on their numbers. But I think we are on that. But I think when you're good up at the top, we're very well aware of guys that need some nurturing from older guys, and I think we're trying to do that constantly.
I think it's a great question, because I think the terminology it's better used the word leader than veteran. And you can take a look at the NHL, and the game has changed. The American Hockey League is younger than it used to be. The NHL has young people like Jonathan Toews leading teams to winning. On our hockey team in San Jose, Logan Couture is a leader. Mark-Edward Vlasic is a leader. Joe Pavelski is a leader. Ryan Clough is a leader. A lot of people that have matriculated up through here. So it's the standard that you set on how you practice, how you play, and how important it is to win. We believe the same thing as you, but you got to remember, the teams that we compare ourselves to down here are teams that are also trying to win a Stanley Cup. In the AHL, and some rules impact this, Wayne, is the ability to win a Stanley Cup and compete in the Calder Cup kind of conflicts on occasion. So you take a look over recent history, other than the Hershey, which is like the New York Yankees, that's a whole different world. Take a look at Providence or Manchester or whatever. We think we've either performed or outperformed them. We look at it as an organization. But we expect our players here to win. When we start every year, if they don't make the playoffs or they don't go deep in the playoffs, we're not happy. They're not happy, we're not happy, because that can advance their career. But as Mike Mudd said, we've had 16 players that are full-time NHL players come through here in the last 5 years. Roy Sommer has coached over 115 players that have come up and played in the NHL. Winning is important, growing is important. What you got to be careful, and this is not a negative towards the veteran guy, sometimes the pilot light goes out. It's not easy, playing 3 games in 3 nights and maintaining the standard. The body gets sore. So when you go over the history of people that we've had here, whether it be the Ryan Vesey, the Darshes of the world, Guite is important, Chichu last year coming in, Alex Stalock to me is a leader. And what this kid has gone through and how he's handled adversity, that's leadership. We brought in Claude Lemieux, to have an impact with people. We're always looking at setting standards. Johnny McCarthy, to me, is one of the most quality people that you can find. So instead of just going in and saying, okay, we went and did this, we try to dig a little deeper. And the people up here, they do their work. Even the ECHL people, you want to get the best player that can come up here who's highly motivated, who can play in this league. Because some of your questions we met yesterday were outstanding, and we expect those questions. This is a hockey team. We don't have the luxury of spending all the money in the world. Our organization, we are not the New York Rangers. Let's be crystal clear on that. But we do spend our money, and more importantly, we commit our people and our time to these players and to this organization. And it's, do we wish we'd won 3 Stanley Cups in the last 5 years? Yeah, we've been to the Final Four twice, and we're going to keep pushing. Do we wish we had made the playoffs every year? Yeah, we should have made it 4 out of 5, and we'd love to win a Calder Cup. I'd love to be a team that wins a Stanley Cup and a Calder Cup the same year. That's our goal when we start every year.